the two things that people pursue when it comes to making money and owning objects is to reassure themselves that other people think that they're important, thus to tell themselves important. You could just skip that process and tell yourself you're important.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the High Level Spotlight Sessions, where we showcase awesome marketers doing awesome marketing. Today, I have a celebrity guest, Mr. Alex Becker. He is world-renowned as an author, a speaker, but he's also the CEO of Hyros, which is a hyper-accurate tracking platform for digital businesses. Alex, thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, what's up? How's it hanging? Glad to be here.
So it's great to have you. Hyros, man. Super exciting platform, great reputation, ton of big names using it. What's wrong with Google Analytics? Like, why does Hyros even exist?
Yeah, so the problem with Google Analytics and Google, and I'm not saying Google Analytics is a bad tool for what it does. It's an analytics system. It's meant to show
free. For free, it's amazing.
Oh yeah, for free it's amazing. I mean, just in general, it's amazing. It's really an engineering marvel. But what its target is to do is to be a one-size-fits-all solution that is meant to show you the overall flow of how people are coming through your website. It's not meant to show. It's not meant to be a sales attribution system. It's not meant to be a phone tracking attribution system, and it's not designed for marketing. It's not going to show you the click data behind individual people. It's not going to reveal their identities and who they are, their contact information. And even when you dig down a little bit deeper into that, the biggest drawback first has is it's one size fits all. And it has no customer support. I mean, good luck getting customer support from Google. And that's not the downside to it. The problem is it has to fit millions and millions of businesses, meaning it's going to be very, very limited in how it's going to plug into your business and how it's going to fit it like a glove. It's more like putting a trash bag on your hand instead of having a glove. So with that being in mind, it's not designed specifically for a business that would be linking from Google Ads, then sending them to a VSL letter, then sending them through an email funnel, and then sending them to, I don't know, a call booking form on Go HighLevel, you know? And so it's not going to fit in there. It's not designed for that. And because of that, you're going to have tracking gaps just before we even get into the tracking issue. It's not designed to go and attribute your phone calls. You close someone on the phone after they book on a form, you run them through a funnel. It's not going to track those things if your sales closer books on the phone. It's just not going to grab that. Then you can get in all sorts of other things that it relies on cookies. It relies on Google tracking being intact. And for example, iPhones wipe Google tracking every time you load up a new browser or come back to it. If a person clicks from a computer on Google Analytics and then comes back to their phone, it's not going to get caught because the reason for that is it's not plugged into every part of your business. For example, you're using Hyros, it's going to be plugged into the ad. It's going to be plugged into your landing page. It's going to be plugged into the funnel. It's going to be plugged into the emails coming through. It's going to be plugged into the phone system. It's going to be plugged into your checkout. An IP, fingerprint, browser. I sound like an idiot when I talk about tech stuff, but the fingerprint of the user, and there's many different layers in which we track, that gets recaptured every time. And we're able to match that between every one of those interactions. So let's say a person comes back on their phone 6 months later, we're able to track one part of their fingerprint back to that original click. And Google Analytics just simply doesn't do that because it's only attached really at the first click. It's not embedded in your checkout system. It's not embedded in every part. So that long-winded rant aside, Google Analytics is a marvel in what it does, showing you the overall trends in your traffic and the overall of what's happening with people coming through your website. It's not going to show you that deep data, and it's not going to give you that complete, accurate attribution you need to run ads efficiently. It's also going to misattribute constantly because it's not talking to your Facebook ads, your TikTok ads, your email marketing, your YouTube videos. It's not talking to all those different things, and it's not designed to do that. So it's just a different system. I don't want to talk bad about Google Analytics. It's fantastic.
Oh, no, of course not. But we've been sort of, iOS 14 update has sort of brought more attention to these types of things, and we've been trying to help educate. Like, listen. The data's been bad for a while. Like ad blockers have been out for a long time. Relying on a Facebook pixel has never been a great solution. Like you need to go server side if you want to get accurate data. And Hyros is just like this insane beast when it comes to getting everywhere and sort of matching it all back. And so you kind of pointed out the end result is just like this really encompassing digital fingerprint, right? That you guys can then attribute. Like I saw you even have a Chrome extension that will put the data in your Facebook Business Manager dashboard?
Well, the point of that is really, my view at Hyros is that, tracking tech has been around for a while. I'll just be straight up. Every other tracking tech company is going to tell you they have some patent pending bullshit. The tracking that works very, very well on all the tools that they've been available, but our view at Hyros is not only to provide the best tracking on earth. The reason why people haven't gone server side, and the reason why people have resisted tracking is because it's difficult, it's complicated. You right. Use anybody, one of our competitors. I'm not going to talk shit in this interview. That's not how I operate. It's just very difficult. Our goal is to make it super easy. And one of the easiest things is we put the stats inside of people's ad managers, not because that's a requirement for tracking, just because it's easy. It makes you be able to, we go into your workflow as well as with our setup process that can take seconds. Because for example, if like Go HighLevel, we've thought about how people plug into your system. And then we said, okay, what's the easiest flow so they can do this with as less clicks as possible. And so we try to make it super easy. So yeah, we also
how's that been going? I was super excited when I heard that Hyros was implementing with HighLevel, and then I was really excited to follow in the chat at how kind of easy it was. There wasn't much back and forth as far as getting it set up. How's it been going?
No, it's just super easy. I mean, honestly, the way we designed the system was to automatically plug in with any system on the internet without even needing one-click integrations or custom integrations. So, Go HighLevel, it's just you slap in a piece of code and you're done. It's very, very simple. We've designed it specifically to be like that.
Now that I feel like we're in danger of oversimplifying it, because you did mention to be able to pull this off is not easy, right? So it is a premium platform. Who is Hyros great for?
So one, it is very easy to set up Hyros. I can literally plug it in the Go HighLevel or really other systems in almost a minute and a half. I can plug it into a very complicated call funnel. Like for example, we're working with like Frank Kern on his funnels right now. He was able to plug his stuff in. He's not a tech guy. He's never used complicated tracking systems before. He was able to plug it in minutes by himself without our Done For You team doing it. And our Done For You team will do it. So it is super simple. But who is it meant for? Primarily, you need to be spending at least 10,000, preferably 20,000 a month on ads. And you should probably have a revenue of around 40,000 a month. Simply for that, if you're spending under $10,000 per month, or let's say about $150 a day, you're going to know where your sales are coming from, and you're really not going to have a huge attribution problem. Where attribution problems really start to come up is when you have multiple different touch points. You got YouTube videos, Google ads, Facebook ads, you got your email marketing all firing off. Everything gets decombobulated. You have stuff taking credit for each other. You have stuff giving itself view through conversions when it shouldn't be. You have stuff underreporting. And the more revenue you have coming in, the larger your tracking problems become. So for example, your business is doing $5,000 per month and you have a 10%, 15, 20% misattribution. Okay, you got $1,000 problem right there. If your business is doing $400,000, $500,000 per month, and your tracking is off by 15%, you're going to miss out on scaling opportunities 15% of the time. You're going to waste about 15% of your ad spend, bare minimum. That's like the lowest possible thing we see. On top of that, you're feeding bad data back to your ad manager. For example, if you're doing a call funnel or like a webinar funnel or something like that, or a funnel that you would commonly see on Go HighLevel, your attribution is going to be off by like 30, 40%. I literally made Hyros to track my webinar funnels. You send that data back, you're giving Google a really bad screenshot of who your customer is, because it's only hitting that customer 60% of the time, and it's marking the other 40% of your customers not as customers. So that's just bad, because not only is it missing that data coming in, it's just making the completely wrong picture of your customers. So sorry to go on a rant there. But yeah,
it's important to point out. I think that's great.
Yeah. So if your business is doing a significant amount of revenue, that's primarily where you're going to see the best results are. We don't like telling people that Hyros isn't suited for a person doing, $500 a month in ad spend. That's not for you. It's okay. Just scale your business a little bit and then come to Hyros.
And now most of the high-level customers are agencies.
Yeah.
Do you guys work with a lot of agencies? Is it like learn it once and then you'll be able to implement it yourself for all your customers?
Yeah. So like we have a lot of people that use Go HighLevel already, that are agencies on Hyros. We have Shopanova, one of the largest e-commerce agencies in the world, on there. And it works really, real well with agencies, because what happens when you come in the Hyros is you can set up an agency account where you can basically run all your clients' tracking just like you would a Facebook ad manager account where you have all your children in. You can also plug Hyros into all your Facebook and Google ad managers and just manage your clients through that Chrome extension, so you can see that accurate tracking right there. Of course, just by default, that allows you to provide a better service for your clients. You're working off better data. You get to save them money. You can make them more money. And then the AI or the data that you're sending to the ad platform AIs is going to give you another 5-10% boost in targeting accuracy. On top of that, when you have an agency account inside, you can go and manage all your clients like that, but you can also create checkout forms if you want to charge your clients for it. So let's say you get a client and you say, okay, cool, I want you guys to buy Hirose for me so I can give you better results. You can send that checkout form. They buy Hirose, it plugs into your account, completely turnkey. You don't need to talk to anybody. You also get a commission for that at the same time. So you bring 10 clients to Hirose, you're making an extra $5,000 a month, even if those are the lowest possible clients. You can also send your clients discount links if you want to buy it out of pocket, just for your business, which, for example, Shopanova, gigantic e-commerce agency, that's what they do. They just bought it for every single one of their clients, and so they're able to do a large bulk account with it. So that also being said,
in working with them.
Yeah. And the one thing I wanted to throw in on top of that, if you're an agency owner and you're watching this, you might be thinking, well, how do I know this is going to be a cost efficient thing? If you don't see results from Hirose, aka you don't make a significant more than Hirose cost you, and whether you are able to build the clients more, get better results, you don't pay for it. There's a 90-day refund guarantee. No questions asked. If you're not completely thrilled, you don't pay for it. If you don't see results, you're not happy with the ROI you're getting, you don't pay for it, period.
That's great. 90 days. That's a big window.
Yeah. Well, we've done it. We've given refunds before outside of that. If you're not happy, we don't keep your money. We build a business based on people wanting us to keep their money. And if we turn off their Hirose account, they'd be extremely upset. That's our motto in business. So make it worthwhile.
That's awesome. Well, Alex, before I let you go, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. Mm-hmm. We're very proud of our community at HighLevel. We are, we work with incredible agencies that understand what it's really like to be an agency. We don't try to sort of sell the dream, as it will, like the Lambo lifestyle. As somebody who has literally owned high-end cars and mansions and spent a ton of money on watches, what have you learned through that journey?
Well, I think you could just sum it up with this one question, Chase. So, all right. So the moment you're at right now, I'm going to get all kind of deep, but you're conscious in this moment, you're aware, you're sitting in your house right now. Okay. Let's say we put you in a mansion on top of, I don't know, Mount Everest, just whatever it is. We give you your dream car right now. How is this moment, how would that moment be any different than this moment? Other than the fact that you're aware that you have a bigger house and you own a car that's really nice. How would that moment be really different than this moment right here?
The only difference is the way people are perceiving you, I guess, in that moment.
Yeah. And so there's a few mind fucks with that. So first off, you're defining who you are by not what people think you are, but what you think that other people think that you are, which is a really weird thing because that's not who you are. And then also you're defining happiness, and it's not a mistake. It's because you think this is a goal you want to get to. But if I'm in a giant house right now, it's worth $50 million. My conscious experience doesn't change at all. So when you think about it, the two things that people pursue when it comes to making money and owning objects is to reassure themselves that other people think that they're important, thus to tell themselves important. You could just skip that process and tell yourself you're important because, again, you're imagining what other people think about you. So you might as well just imagine you're important. And then two, you can't really add or take away anything from your conscious experience. So that being said, it's all just kind of a facade. And the thing that's actually going to make you happy, if you can think about if I put you right now and you are working at a job you absolutely hate. Let's imagine you're working at I don't know, just imagine a bad job. That moment right there would be really bad because you're doing something you're unhappy doing. And so that would be a terrible moment. So this moment right now, I don't know if this is the happiest moment, right? But when you're building, you're working with your company, those are probably the moments that make you happy. And so you're going to get fulfillment by doing stuff that makes you happy, not owning and possessing things. And so the true way to get happiness, at least to me clearly, is not by owning things. It's by doing what makes you happy. And so if you put all your focus on doing what makes you happy. So for example, building companies makes me happy. That's when I'm happiness. If I cut away all the things that lock me in the businesses, or for example, if you have a $10 million house, you can't do whatever you want whenever you want. You got to make sure that damn thing's paid for, you got $1 million a year in property taxes.
A lot of maintenance that comes with a huge house as
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to have $1.5 million a year and just bullshit. If you cut that thing out, you're completely free to do whatever you want. And when you do whatever you want, you're allowed to do what makes you happy. And then when you do what makes you happy, you're happy. So that's just what I realized. And it's not that I'm against owning Lamborghinis or having a nice house or anything like that. I'm happy when I work on my business. And because I've been able to work on my business unrestricted without any strings attached and be recklessly and investing in it, the business has grown and been the most successful business I've ever built and the most fulfilling one. So
I love it.
That's my logic.
We have a lot of young agency entrepreneurs that I feel like have been indoctrinated with that, like Lambo, you got to have a Lambo or you're not successful. So hopefully that sinks in. All right, last question. You mentioned that you're most happy building businesses. What's next? Do you have a new business that you're working on? Or you dreaming up anything on the horizon?
There's all sorts of businesses I would love to build. I'd love to build a video game company right now. And I'm very into cryptocurrency. And I think NFTs plus VR and augmented reality is the biggest opportunity in the world right now that people don't know about. That being said, my company, Hirose is the fastest growing ad analytics company in the world. I have a great team. I have great people. And I am very, very, very committed to the idea of only focusing on one thing at one time. And so I will not be starting another business for the foreseeable future. There's all sorts of cool things I'd like to do. I'd like to code video games. I like to do all these things, but you got to be a little bit disciplined and pick the ball you're going to swing at, you know?
Yeah. More good advice.
Yeah.
Well, Alex, thanks so much for coming on to chat with us.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for watching. We will see you in the next one.